welcome to the second floor classroom of the Lion Brand Yarn Studio. We're here with Françoise Dupré.
Hi,
Did I do that all right? All right,
perfect.
excellent. Thank you. The amazing fiber artist who is responsible for our newest installation, Spirals. So for those of you who don't live in New York, please check out our website, lionbrandyarnstudio.com, to find out about this beautiful new piece called Spirals. And we're here to hear all about your fiber art. And for those folks that can't be with us to hear your presentation, we have a little interview sampler. So first, welcome.
Thank you.
And I have to say a personal thank you for giving up going to the royal wedding.
Absolutely.
There was New York.
No issue there.
I know it was a terrible, terrible burden for you to have to be torn away. Came all the way from London just for our installation, so we're so thrilled to have you. I've been a huge fan of your work. I saw your work for the first time in person. I've seen your work many times online, but in person here in New York. I believe it was 2 or 3 years ago in the Radical Lace and Subversive Knitting.
Fabulous show.
Fantastic show, and been kind of following you ever since, and you've been on our list of please come here and do a piece, so we're so thrilled to have you. So tell me a little bit about Spirals, how it was created, how it came to be.
Okay. I'm trained as a sculptor, so I'm a sculptor, installation artist, and one of my main themes is the art of making in the everyday. So looking at textiles and knitting is very much part of that approach to sculpture making and engaging with creativity in the everyday, in particular women's creativity. So that's how I started looking into knitting. And I came across, just by chance, on a spool knitter from a local store in London. And I taught myself how to do it and thought, hey, this is fantastic. It's very simple kind of knitting. And I know knitting can be very complicated, but this one was just for me, because I am not a knitter.
Yeah, they're fantastic. We sell them in the studio, little French knitters. And we sell them on lionbrand.com.
Absolutely. So it also means you can make your own. You only need 4 nails and a tube. So the one here exhibited are actually on made from plastic spool, which I think were from a weaver next to my studios who donated the empty spools. And there's 4 nails. And the idea is with that basic tool, you can make neat tubes. And you can use all sorts of different kinds of yarns. So that's how I started making the tubes. And then, what do you do with them? I started working with the tubes as well and knitting through different community projects that I've been involved in the past. And again, getting miles and miles of tubes knitted with women's group and finding ways of putting it together. And the spiral became just a very natural thing to do.
So other people contributed to
Yes. So the one here, they're all my own knitting, but there's a huge Spirals in Oxford at the hospital.
I've seen
the John Radcliffe Hospital, and that's been made by midwives, patients, cleaners, nurses. And as you know, Spirals, as you start moving out of the center, it takes actually a huge amount of tubes. So this is a great way of getting everybody involved. So that's how it basically started. And I had to find ways of fixing those tubes. My earlier pieces were just pinned on the walls, and these are, I adapted I think it's a basket weaving technique, so to linking the tubes as I kind of move up in the spirals.
Well, what I love about the way you've linked them is that that's part of the bright, colorful, the color of the wire. The linking is not invisible. It's part of the overall beauty, and the colors are so vibrant, and there's almost movement to the piece. It radiates because of all the different textures too. That's the other thing I love.
Yeah.
I love that combination of textures.
Yes, and the wire is an electric wire. It's not a telephone wire, which is finer and beautiful with lots of colors. This is a little bit thicker, and it's a very thin electric wire that I buy from an electric supplier. But I love using ready-made color. I'm not a painter and know very little about theory of color. So I work in a very kind of experimental way. So the wire comes in lots of colors, the wool comes in a lot of color, and I try to match them together. So yeah.
You know, you are not the first fiber artist to mention hardware stores being...
Yes.
Adrienne Sloan, who did the last piece here, also is a big fan of hardware stores.
Yes.
She says you can find wonderful things. So, you know, go to your hardware store,
yes,
find some beautiful things.
Today I've been looking for, I think in America you call it duct tape, which is gaffer tape.
Yes.
I'm looking for fluorescent pink one, which I know exists.
I'll tell you where to go. I used to be in theater. So we do call it gaffer's tape. Gaffer's tape and duct tape are actually two different things.
Oh,
so
well,
we'll
I've learned
talk
something
later. I'll send you just to the right store. So tell me a little bit about your newest installation that's coming up.
Yes, the newest show is opening on the 26th of May in London. It's at the Women's Library, which has a quite big gallery space, and it's going to be there until the last day of September. And it will bring together a series of work that I've been working in the studio, so the whole installation using all sorts of different kinds of everyday objects, like tops of bottles, and lampshades, as well as shopping bags, carrier bags. And I will be also showing together as well a piece that I did in Mostar 2 years ago.
Oh wow! So we have until when? The end of September?
Yes, 30th, the last day of
book
September.
your airfare now. Now that the wedding's over, you can get a very nice fare. And summer's a lovely time to visit London.
Yeah.
Then hop on over to New York and come visit us in the studio. And your piece will be up for 3 months. It just went up on May 1st, and it'll be with us for 3 months. So we can't wait to hear more about your work this evening.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us. Goodbye from the Librarian Studio.